Dina, how's your visibility? Do you know where all your things are?
I don't know.
If someone needed something right now, would you know where it is?
Well, depending on what it is, I think.
Are you adhering to the standards for keeping track of your stuff?
I'm definitely not doing.
Does your family have mandates?
Yes, some do, especially the kids. Yes. Wow. I'm feeling woefully inadequate, as it relates to knowing where my stuff is at this point.
You should. But these are the problems that are facing modern retailers
that's fair.
well.
That's fair.
And the solution just might be RFID.
Hey, yes.
We're pretty fond of talking about it. We are fond of it.
Yes, we love RFID.
We have a trio of amazing guests today to discuss the RFID revolution, what you should expect to be happening next.
Yep.
We have Zebra's Patti Blessing, AIM's Mariya Bosco, and GS1's Teresa Williams. We promise we let them do most of the talking.
Boom, boom, boom. Great guests.
They know their stuff a lot more than we do.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about why the surge of interest in RFID. Dean's been talking about the hockey stick for a while now.
Yes.
They're going to explain what's happening out there. What are mandates and standards doing to push the market forward? Can RFID address organized retail crime? You're going to hear about a story about something that makes me really angry. Stealing some of my favorite stuff out there. So these jokes will make sense to you a little bit later, but go out and eat your carrots. Tell your kids to make the bed. I'm John Martin.
And I'm Dean Reverman.
Welcome to BlueStar Nation. This episode is brought to you by Zebra. Maximize asset tracking capabilities with the all-touch Zebra TC22R integrated handheld RFID reader.
Wow, you made it.
Yes.
That was a lot.
I did. I thought I was going to mess that up.
Great piece of machinery.
It is. The new, and I'm going to tell you why. The new TC22R handheld reader has an integrated TC22 mobile computer and a lightweight all-in-one form factor that results in reliable long-term performance with less fatigue and no need to pair with an external device. With Bluetooth and Wi-Fi 6 built in, the TC22R is also easy to use and manage across any network. And as an Android-based solution that can be supported by mainstream MDMs, the TC22R takes simplicity to the next level, reducing deployment headaches and management overhead to give businesses a competitive edge. Check out the link in the show notes to learn more, see use cases, and get all of the resources you need. The BlueStar Nation podcast is brought to you by ELO. In a world where hang on, I got to do my voice.
Oh, yes.
In a world where technology evolves rapidly.
Yes.
Your customers' legacy POS infrastructure may be silently holding their business back. Help them future-proof with ELO's flexible open platform. I feel like I just sound like just a weird version of Christian Bale's Batman.
We do, we might need a little bit of digital enhancement.
Maybe. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Just can't quite do that in a world.
Yes.
That guy had a special voice.
Yes,
ELO's enterprise-grade hardware platform provides the modern foundation that retailers need, delivering standardized architecture and an open compatibility across today's leading software solutions and tomorrow's innovations. ELO's modular approach seamlessly integrates emerging technologies while maintaining enterprise-wide consistency, eliminating the proprietary constraints that have historically locked retailers into outdated systems. By transitioning customers to ELO's flexible platform, you're not just upgrading their hardware, you're future-proofing their entire technology strategy.
Boom!
Future-proofing.
Boom!
With a solution designed to evolve alongside consumer expectations and market demands. And we consumers, we got a lot of expectations.
Yeah, absolutely, we do.
Why choose ELO? Well, software-agnostic platforms, enterprise-grade support, commercial-grade durability, and an extensive partner ecosystem, all built around ELO's lineup of flexible, scalable hardware, peripherals, payment devices, and modularity for any business need.
What more do you need?
I don't think you didn't need any more.
Right.
But to learn more, check out the link in the show notes or contact the BlueStar ELO team. All right, we have not one, not two, 3 fantastic guests.
Yes,
in this
we do.
Episode. I expect us to not have to really talk too much for this one because we've got.
You always say that, but we always have things to say.
Well, you always have things to say.
But 3 great experts. I'm super excited.
So I'm going to kick this off and give a quick intro to each of them here. First of all, we've got Patti Blessing. She is the Senior Sales Manager for RFID at Zebra Technologies. Patti, welcome to the show. Tell us quickly about yourself and your day-to-day role there at Zebra.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here today and to talk about RFID. It's a great time to be a part of the RFID world. At Zebra, I am, as you mentioned, the Senior Sales Manager for RFID for Retail and Hospitality North America. So I work with our account managers to bring RFID expertise to our customers and help them with their RFID journey.
Nice.
Awesome. Next up, we have Mary Lou Bosco. She's our association executive for AIM. Mary Lou, welcome to the show. We've known you for a long time.
We love
very
AIM.
familiar with you.
Absolutely,
See you at all the shows, and we're glad to actually get to have you on the show here. So give us a little of your background and what's your day-to-day like over there at AIM.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm Mary Lou Bosco. I'm the Chief Executive Officer and President for AIM Global. We're an industry association for all AIDC technologies. We're a global organization, and we have a network around the world of solution providers, manufacturers, system integrators, academia, end users, and even government agencies. Here at AIM, we have 4 key pillars. We have education, networking, community, and standards. And standards is where we started more than 50 years ago. So working on making the best member benefit and experience that we can provide to our members, but also be a voice for auto ID across the world.
They do a great job over there.
I was just going to say, it's a great organization. If you're not already part of it, and
You need to be.
You're in the AIDC space, you should be involved with AIM.
100%,
Last but definitely not least, and bringing some of the serious technical expertise that we don't often have on this show.
Yes.
We got Teresa Williams, the Strategic Account Director for GS1 US. Teresa, welcome. Tell us a little about yourself, too.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Yes, hi, I'm Teresa Williams. I'm with GS1 US. GS1 is a neutral, not-for-profit global standards organization. We help develop and maintain the most widely used supply chain standard system in the world. Our mission is to improve efficiency, safety, and visibility across global supply chains. And we operate in over 110 different countries and support more than 2 million companies. And we help enable about 10 billion transactions a day. And so I represent GS1 US, and I'm a strategic account director there. And my role is to help, bridge global supply chain standards with companies that are helping shape industry. So I align with them with their strategies, driving adoption, building partnerships, and all of that helps to transform how business operate. So thank you so much for having me.
Kind of sounded like the weight of the world was on her shoulders a little bit there, right?
Yeah.
Was that 10
Really
billion
heavy.
transactions a day? Oh, is that all? Okay.
That's all. Just, it's near 10 billion. So obviously we have an all-star crew here to get into this conversation about RFID, the revolution for retail and hospitality, supply chain visibility, which I think has, become increasingly important over the years.
Sure has.
We've keeps claiming that it's the year of RFID.
Yes.
And I think we've gone past the year of RFID, and it's now, you're right. The years, we're there, it's happening, time to get in.
We're finally
or
in,
stay
yes.
out, whichever
There
your
you
choice
go.
is there.
There you go.
But I want to kick it off, Mary Lou, from you and your perspective over there at AIM Global. Can you kind of set the stage for us right now? Talk about, why is there such a surge of interest and adoption of RFID right now? We, again, like I said, we kind of joked about it for a long time that it was coming, and then it kind of suddenly happened. What does that market landscape look like right now?
Absolutely. The global RFID market is expected to reach nearly $38 billion by 2033. And then here within the U.S., the market alone is projected to hit nearly $9 billion. And this is according to an ID Tech X report. In addition, AIM's Industry Direction Report, which was just released a few months ago, projected a strong RFID market as well, with vendor optimism with more than 84% expecting RFID demand to increase over the next 3 years, particularly with the sale of RFID readers, RFID smart labels, RTLS, and RFID labeling software. Now, the surge can be attributed to e-commerce and omni-channel retail, along with the Walmart mandate. You cannot promise a customer that they can order online and pick up in the store if you don't have the product there. What we found is that customers are more informed and demand more information about the products that they're purchasing. Now, the elephant in the room is the Walmart mandate.
It's been around for a little while, but go ahead, Mary Lou. Yes.
The Walmart mandate requires suppliers to use RFID tags on their various products, ensuring real-time inventory accuracy. Now, the mandate started off with apparel, but is moving into other product lines as well, including electronics, toys, home, automotive products, and so forth.
Yeah, definitely, man. And you're right. That is the elephant in the room of sorts there. So, Patti, give us the zebra side of things, because you're obviously, she's telling us the market overview, but you obviously get to experience what's happening from the technology side and the demand and what Zebra and other companies have to go out there and sell in order to meet this need. What's your perspective on this?
Well, first of all, I'm still laughing about the year of RFID because we have all said that so many times now.
Right, exactly.
Truly, RFID is coming into its own, and Mary Lou is really spot on. For years we've talked about the potential of the technology, but now we're actually seeing it become an operational necessity. Mary Lou talked about meeting the customer and achieving what their objectives are in terms of shopping and being able to buy online and pick up in store. Our customers are moving well beyond pilots and into full-scale deployments, not only in just inventory management, but across many different use cases in their stores to meet those customers and to exceed those customers' expectations. Companies like Amazon have set the expectation very high. Everyone's wants product on demand immediately. And RFID is a technology that can help retailers to compete in a very competitive market today. In addition, we have found that the ROI is absolutely undeniable for retailers today. There was a recent study by Oxford Economics that quantified this, showing that retailers that optimize their workflows with technologies like RFID could expect to see revenue growth uplift of about 2%. That's pretty significant when you think about what their revenue is on an annual basis. And most important, 21% improvement in customer satisfaction. And we all know that really the customer is paramount to all of us in retail today. So,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Patti. Nope. Yeah.
So it's really about building efficiencies through visibility, connectivity, and automation. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit here. In fact, during VARTech, we showed the slide that showed our RFID business, and it is the very definition of a hockey stick. Like, that gets thrown around in business worlds like, oh yeah, it's a hockey stick effect. No, bro, it is a hockey stick of the amount of RFID we're seeing. And I think Lou did a great job, but I want to I wanted to kind of dive into just a couple of them. Patti, you're dead on the retail side, right? So there's this need for inventory visibility, and that's really kind of driving this. But it's really fascinating because I was at a pop-up store somewhat recently, back there during the Kentucky Derby. I think I talked about this, where there was a pop-up store that RFID tagged every single individual piece of clothing there, and then you just walked up and you threw your goods into a basket, literally into a basket, and it read it instantly. Kiosk, boom, boom, boom. I mean, you were out of that place within less than a minute. I mean, it's just so the advantages. Or anything, So I know the Walmart mandate had a dramatic effect, but when you look at what's happening in the marketplace, we're even just starting to see it downstream a little bit. Patti, are you starting to see it a little bit? Even like the SMB world is starting to get into this a little bit, right?
You're absolutely speaking my language. You're spot on, and it's not just the Kentucky Derby. You're going to see it at the Masters. You're going to see it at NFL games, MLB. The fact of the matter is that when a patron pays a ticket to go to an event, they want their memorabilia, but they want to get in and they want to get out quickly. And the way to assure that you get that customer in and out is to give them tools like RFID that lets them not only shop, quickly, but also check out quickly. Imagine those events are primarily run by volunteers. So being able to put the power of the transaction into the consumer's hands, giving them control over getting themselves in and out quickly, and letting the volunteers just help them with their shopping and their questions really improves the experience for everyone. So we are seeing it across many venues. And the whole concept of self-checkout with RFID is certainly becoming more and more relevant, even in brick and mortar.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. The inventory visibility is key. The frictionless nature of commerce is key as well. Another driver that we often talk about here a little bit are some of the other mandates that are coming down. And Mary Lou, I don't know, or Teresa, if you want to comment on this, but when you think about things like healthcare, right? They're getting mandated on compliances around anti-counterfeit, stuff like that. When we look at the food industry, right? There's certain compliances that are coming down as far as traceability. Thank you. And those types of things. I think that's contributing as well to the surge that we're seeing in RFID. Do you guys agree there? All right, Teresa, I know that's probably in your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of what you do. Right.
Yes. So When we talk about regulation, it all comes down to visibility, transparency, being able to take the information and being able to send it to the proper authorities when you do see some kind of outbreak, or if you see a recall of sorts. It's a matter of getting that information to the right people as quickly as possible to combat any large, effect to the consumer. So having the information be transparent is vital, and having the data carriers to be able to hold as much information as possible is also key.
Mary Lou, your comments on, just like traceability, maybe just kind of drill in there. You see that a lot, right? A lot of the partners are talking about it and the need to have that.
Absolutely, and there's so many regulations, not only here in the state, but here in the States, but also abroad. You had mentioned the FSMA regulation for food supply chain, DSCSA for pharmaceuticals, UDI for medical devices, and there's even, particularly in Europe, they have an alcohol and tobacco regulation, and the soon-to-be-released DPP, Digital Product Passport regulation. What is a common denominator in all these regulations? It's about tracking things. And government agencies are not dictating what type of technology. They're allowing the market to actually dictate what technology works best for them. There's a huge uptake in interest in RFID. RFID is a great solution, especially in the long term. There's a clear return on investment, but I think that's what's key for solution providers and resellers is to convey that to their customers. The ROI for RFID is more than just about the mandate. It's about being efficient within their organizations as well.
Nice.
Definitely.
Yep.
Hey, I just got to jump in.
Yeah.
I love that you brought up those efficiencies, because we talk about the customer and we talk about traceability and regulations, but the other thing we can't forget is that the worker, right? The connected worker, the frontline worker, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in government, whether it's in manufacturing or retail, they're being asked to do more and more and more. So when we give them tools like RFID, we help them do their jobs, and we help them do it not only more efficiently, but more effectively, and give them the tools that make them also happy in doing their job. And let's face it, there's nothing that makes an employer happier than reducing turnover, because turnover is a very expensive aspect of business. And when you can give the employee the tool to make their job better, they're more inclined to stay.
I couldn't agree with that more. The use cases on a personal size, my middle daughter, she works at retail, and they started incorporating e-commerce from the store. And so the inventory count was huge. Well, they enabled their employees with RFID. So she's going around wanding stuff that would took, literally an hour or so, taking minutes now to accomplish. And I would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit, maybe. I'm sorry, you had a comment there, Patti, real quick?
Nope, go ahead.
Oh, okay. What about the cost of the tag? That's the other thing that I think is also helping to drive adoption here. We're starting to see, the tags, it's realistic now. When you throw a tag on there that's under a nickel, now it becomes a lot more economically feasible. I don't know, Patti, do you see that? Do you think that's been a little bit of part of the driver too?
Absolutely. There's no doubt that the cost of the technology has become much more affordable, whether it's the cost of the tag. And when you talk about the cost of the tag, you have to look at the total cost of applying the tag. We've become smarter at how we're introducing tagging at the supply chain or within the supply chain. We're using it more throughout the entire supply chain. So now that tag that's less than 5 cents is serving many uses within the supply chain. So the ROI is greater. The tags are more sensitive today, meaning they're better performing in each of those supply chain use cases. So all around, I think we're seeing a much better cost-effective solution as well.
Yeah, and I'd like to do a shameless plug for the GS1 standards and guidelines.
Yeah, go right ahead.
For it.
Well, without a common framework, compliance and regulation becomes really fragmented and costly.
Yep.
So using GS1 standards and the guidelines that we help create and promote in specific industries, food, healthcare, retail, it really helps ease that process too.
Really, really good point.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Absolutely. I think one of the things I like about the idea of RFID as a solution too is that, like we've been talking about, it's one of those things where maybe someone approaches you and you find it's the solution for something like inventory management or supply chain visibility. But then once you've implemented it, there's so many other things that potentially can open up.
Yep.
You have that option for potentially self-service and cashierless checkout.
Yep.
You have a little bit more, maybe you're helping enable e-commerce and empowering employees and making their jobs a little quicker and easier. This to me is one of those technologies that, sure, there might be one reason you implement it from one thing you're trying to accomplish, but then you can find down the road that there's a lot more you can actually do. It's a very flexible type of technology too.
Yeah.
Well, Teresa, since you kind of hinted obviously at GS1 and the standards, that being a big important part of this piece and setting those standards in order to have these regulations and make sure everyone's on the same page, you're very much the bedrock for all of what we're trying to accomplish here. So can you explain why standards like EPC, the electronic product code, and the new GS1 digital link are so critical for retailers that are looking to adopt RFID?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for letting me. So RFID gives retailers speed and accuracy, and the GS1 digital link adds the transparency and engagement piece for consumers. And together they create a connected product ecosystem, so one tag for all of it. So EPC, electronic product code, is essentially the digital DNA for products. So you'll hear EPC and then you'll hear EPCIS. So EPC, if you think about it, is like the VIN number on a car. And EPCIS is like the Carfax. So that's telling you the where, when, what, how of the product journey. So you'll hear that when you're talking about RFID. So when we implement digital link and incorporate RFID and digital link, that really creates just the full solution when it comes to supply chain visibility and consumer engagement in that one product. So each product gets their own identity, their item level uniqueness. Utilizing it creates the real-time visibility, and utilizing these standards create interoperability across the global supply chain.
Teresa, I want to follow up on that because, we talked about the retail mandates, especially the Walmarts of the world, the elephant in the room, as Mary Lou put it, or 800-pound gorilla, however you want to phrase that. From your perspective, how did that change the way that GS1 went out, and approached this, and the push that it obviously created to get us further along down the path of RFID to where we are now? How did that influence things, and was it a good thing for what we're trying to accomplish?
Oh, absolutely, it's a great thing. So when you have a place like Walmart, a retailer like Walmart really pushing a specific technology, it gets other retailers to really want to jump on board too. So Walmart, Macy's, Nordstrom's now all require suppliers to tag product with EPC RFID for inventory accuracy and for loss prevention. And it's all in compliance with GS1 standards. So there's a lot of work groups and education that we have put together and provide to industry to help with these mandates.
Talk to us a little bit about what happens if manufacturers don't utilize these standards, right? Can we shun them? Is that what we do, or do we, but there is, in all seriousness, they're not.
Go straight to the shunning.
Just go straight to the shunning. They can't participate, as you said, in global supply chain efficiencies. So it's really it behooves these folks to be aware of them, right?
You're right. There's a chance of these retailers rejecting their shipments. There's a chance of them being fined. So yes, it's a great idea to jump on board and follow these guidelines.
You're going to say it's a good idea to shun them.
I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, obviously, that was, the whole purpose of Walmart rolled this out, and everyone was like, well, I guess we got to do this, or we don't get to play with Walmart. And I don't know too many product manufacturers that don't want to play with Walmart. So
that's totally fair. But when you think about this digital link, and I'm still trying to get my head around it, Teresa, so I apologize, what the standard's trying to accomplish. But I can see it, right? Because you're now taking kind of just product ID to a whole nother level. Do I have it right? Right? You're expanding understanding you now have more information involved in it. You can do some things with it and things like that. So I don't know, right? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, you're totally right. So the GS1 Digital Link transforms your traditional identifier into a web-enabled URI, connecting the physical product to really rich digital information for the consumer. So you're really connecting that brand and consumer experience.
Yeah, so by not complying or not playing ball, if you will, you kind of shun yourself in the sense that, like, if you're a manufacturer that's not doing these types of things and it becomes the norm of the shopping behavior, which I'm sure it will, because this is product level stuff that this is the kind of information that people need and want as they're going about their shopping journeys and stuff like that. Can you imagine just, now you interact with it and there's nothing. There's no page there. There's no information compared to your competitor. I'm speaking from the manufacturer's point of view now, and your competitor's got great information, about the use case and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I think it's going to be really important. And I think manufacturers, I guess, Teresa, part of your world is educating manufacturers on this, right? And how it can enable them and things like that.
Yes, absolutely. So we do have discussion groups that we invite retailers, solution providers, brands, all to join in and listen to what, best practices, the informational guidelines that we have. So we just want to make it as easy as possible for industry to adopt.
Yep.
And I'd like to add in, Teresa, you hit the nail on the head. It is about education. Because it's not that these manufacturers don't want to comply. They do. They just don't know where to start.
Yeah, right?
And there's a number of resources out there for them to become educated, and also understanding that it is cost effective. I think a lot of them are concerned, and Dean, I believe you hit on this before, that there's still that mindset that RFID is too expensive.
Yep. Right.
Or conveying to the manufacturer that there's ROI beyond the Walmart mandate or some government mandate within your organization. We've been talking about its asset visibility from use the food analogy from farm to table, keeping track of where everything is along the supply chain. And the consumers want that information. And I think that's a key point as well, is that they want to know where their product originated and where it's been before it got to their home.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead, Patti.
I was just going to say, I wanted to just tag on to what Mary Lou talked about, and that is that there is value to everyone in the supply chain. And I alluded to that a little bit earlier, but there is value to each of the participants in the supply chain, from the supplier, for shipping, receiving raw goods, managing their production, to distribution, where they're doing inventory, receiving and shipping and validation. There are costs at each of those points that are associated with claims and mistakes that we can reduce by capturing information, that digital information, right at the point. And it helps everyone. And when we talk about, whether we're talking about reducing waste or sustainability, if we can stop shipping things that aren't the right things to the right place, we can help. We can even help with sustainability initiatives. So I really think oftentimes we think of the word mandate and it sounds kind of egregious, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a little authoritative, like, oh man, I got to do it. It's like eating your vegetables when your mom says, eat your vegetables. Oh, I'm mandated? Really?
Oh, I got to put an RFID tag on this? Yeah.
But I promise you'll see better if you eat those carrots.
Right.
RFID, the carrots of the technology world. I like it.
But that's so fair because, you're right, Patti. And I think that's part of the education we all can do a better job of, us in distribution as well. It's like, this is like taking everything to another level of availability for information. But when you think about it, and certainly the younger generation, they're going to want traceability. They're going to want this information. They're going to want to be able to scan the carrot and say, what field did it come out of? I mean, that's kind of like the expectation, right? So we have to get everybody involved, and it's not a mandate. It's really benefiting. There's so much benefit across the board to enabling this technology.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and since we've been talking about benefits and other places that you can flex and move this technology, let's talk about organized retail crime.
Yeah.
Because it is a growing concern. It's been a concern for a while, but I think we're starting to really hear more about it and more attempts to address it than ever before. Mary Lou, I know this is something that AIM is pretty keen on and has been tracking very closely. How serious is this problem right now? And then how's RFID one of the solutions?
Absolutely. And this simply isn't just shoplifting. These are sophisticated criminal networks. These groups use encrypted messaging apps to recruit thieves, coordinate the consolidation of the stolen merchandise, and to liquidate the merchandise as quickly as possible. The National Retail Federation recently reported that 93% increase in organized retail theft from 2019 to 2023,
Yikes.
with losses hitting nearly $121 billion last year alone. Now, RFID is emerging as one of the powerful forensic tools to fight back on this crime. In a recent case, the U.S. government, along with local, state, and authorities, successfully recovered almost 2,000 pairs of American Eagle jeans, along with other retailer merchandise. Now, this totaled more than $2 million. RFID from the recovered merchandise showed that it came from 35 stores in 13 states. It allowed them to identify the scope of the criminal network, but also it even uncovered a second arm of the group in another state.
Well, now I'm mad. American Eagle's my favorite jeans.
Right.
I'm wearing some right now. That's my go-to. Don't mess with my jeans. I'll make the cost go up on those.
You had to pay extra because of all this theft that's going out there. $120 billion. I'm sorry, that's a real number. That is, no matter who you are.
That's a real number.
That's a real number that we're all being burdened with.
And as usual, it's criminals that if they just put their mind to something useful, they could probably do something really cool and helpful for society. But they're figuring out how they can steal a bunch of stuff and make money that way.
Yeah, I mean, right.
Yeah.
I just always assume the criminal networks are getting sophisticated, but
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Patty, expand on this a little bit. The visibility side of this. I know Zebra's embedded in this conversation as well, and trying to figure out how to help it. Retailers address this kind of stuff. What are you guys doing there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we get back to that end-to-end visibility and the importance of that, right? The same technology that we're talking about that tells a retailer that their inventory is accurate because they did a scan of their inventory. It also creates a digital history for every item. Mm-hmm. So from the moment it's tagged at the source through the distribution center to the store, and even at the point of exit, point of sale, and the point of exit, right? So we have a record of exactly what's happened to that one unique item because remember, with RFID, everything is serialized, right? So we can use, for example, in stores, fixed readers at transition points, at doorways and dressing rooms and back rooms to detect as product is moving from one location to the other. Why is that important? It's pretty important to know where it's moving in the store to understand, has it really been purchased? Is it really being even, it's important for more than loss detection, but is it really being tried on? Is someone taking it in the dressing room and removing it? So we're getting a much better visibility to the asset itself and how it's moving through the store, and confirming that when it does leave the store, that it's left the store and been paid for. Otherwise, we really have that $121 billion problem that is, as you said, it's burdening everyone.
It sure is. And it's front of house and it's back of house. What I love about the RFID and things like that is that not, if you put antennas on the dock doors and the back doors and stuff like that, truly have visibility on where the product is moving within the facility, you're going to find out that a lot of it's going out the back door, where it's not just
could be an internal
the front
issue.
of house.
Yeah,
absolutely. Exactly. This box here, I'll throw it out in the garbage,
right.
knowing full well it's got 5 of your favorite pair of American Eagle jeans in it. That 35 different locations, as Mary Lou just said. Was it 2,000 pairs of pants, 35 different locations or something? I mean, come on, that's a sophisticated ring that's going on there. So anyway, we need all of it to combat this stuff. But when you think about ROI and just being able to mitigate that, I mean, retailers obviously are looking for these types of solutions. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of questions you can go and ask your retail partners, and you might find a lot of different ways that get you to that RFID conversation at some point if you're not there already.
Right, for sure.
All right, well, in a moment, we're going to have our fantastic guests wrap up and give us their final thoughts on the future of RFID, where it's going next, and what you should be paying attention to.
Like a crystal ball?
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. We get them out their crystal. I don't know if did you get the memo to bring your crystal balls, ladies? Yeah. I hope so, because make sure you pull them out. Before we do that, though, a quick note of what's happening around BlueStar Nation. Since we've been talking about retail, you're also going to want to tune into next week's episode, where we'll be discussing the NRF Big Show with Intel's Mariya Zorotovich.
Oh, nice.
We're going to talk about the theme of the show, what's going on there this year, how should newbies versus veterans approach their time at the show if they're attending, and then basically like what happens there and how does it inform the retail space over the next year or so. It's going to be good stuff.
It's a behemoth.
We'll get you prepped and ready for NRF, whether you're attending or not, so you know what to expect out of it.
I could use that show. I need to listen.
Well, hey, guess what? You will.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I think you're going to be here, so let's just pay attention
for now. Yeah, there you
go. So make sure you're subscribed so you do not miss out. Hey, while you're doing that, make sure you're also liking our episodes. Throw us a comment if you're watching here on YouTube. If you're listening on your podcast platform of your choice, leave us a quick 5-star rating and review. It can be as simple as just leaving a 5 stars and saying, hey, great show. Love what you guys are doing. If you have additional thoughts about the world of RFID, questions, if you'd like us to drag some of these folks back on the show and ask them more, well, we're always happy to do that. We could use, some more topics to talk about.
Absolutely.
So don't hesitate to reach out to us. So you can also check out our BlueStar Nation blog. We're doing always great content over there, a lot of amazing end user surveys. And of course, you can reach out to us at any time. Find us on our BlueStar LinkedIn page or email us directly, nation@bluestarinc.com. All right, let's wrap things up with a little bit of VAR value to start here.
Yes.
So again, I kind of want your final thoughts here, kind of wrapping this thing up, and a takeaway if you've got nothing else from this. Hopefully, if you've been listening, and if you're for some reason not on board with RFID, you've figured it out by now. If you're on board, maybe you can help understand what you're looking at in the future. So give us some final thoughts on that future of RFID. You and how maybe your respective organizations are out there trying to help our channel grow the technology and prepare for what's next. Patti, I'll let you kick us off here.
Yeah, I will say that I think the future is bright, and I see a lot of automation and autonomous automation, and also AI. So that's a lot of A's, right? But there is no doubt that that we're moving away from just data capture to intelligent automation, and I can see a day very, very soon, and it's actually already happening, where AI is analyzing real-time data that comes from RFID reads to dynamically adjust staffing, predict out of stocks before they happen, improve their order optimization, and really improve the overall efficiencies of the supply chain. So, it's about creating truly self-aware, intelligent operations that will empower that frontline worker we talked about to be more effective and maybe happier than ever before.
I like it. Mariya, what about you? What's your predictions and what you're looking at in the future?
There's a massive push for greater supply chain visibility, automation, of course, and the integration of technologies. With the cost of RFID components decreasing, it's making the technology more accessible to a wider range of applications. So the retail market is the perfect place for solution providers to look to when trying to demonstrate the ROI of an RFID implementation with their customers. Also seeing future towards greater convergence. One technology will not displace another, but instead should be leveraged to make the operations as accurate and efficient as possible. I urge solution providers and resellers to equip their customers with the metrics that show the value proposition to sell to the executive team. By doing so, your customer now becomes your partner. And speaking of partnerships, at AIM, we support the implementation of all asset tracking technologies, whether that be RFID or barcodes, sensors, and more. Innovation of new technologies is expanding, and it's important to get involved and stay informed. So I strongly encourage this community to get involved in your industry associations like AIM Global, GS1, RSPA, and stay connected with your distributor and manufacturing partners, because together we can stay abreast of these new developments, new standards, new requirements, which means more business for everyone.
Amen. I agree to that. And I'm gonna key in on a word she said there: complementary technology. We've talked about that a lot. Like this is
not meant to be a replacement.
Is not a replacement, but when you pair it up with barcoding technology and sensor technology, you really come up with a very sophisticated solution. That works.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
put it that way there. Right.
And since Mariya mentioned standards, Teresa, what's your perspective here? What's your future that you're looking for with RFID?
Well, it's everything that they said. I agree with it all. RFID is moving from a tracking tool to a strategic enabler. Fully on board with RFID acting as that sensory network for IoT. I feel like it's feeding real-time data into AI systems for predictive analytics, automated replenishment, maintenance, all of the stuff that is very manual today. And I wholeheartedly agree that RFID is going to marry well with other technologies, specifically the GS1 digital link and that shift to 2D barcodes at point of sale. So I think when we integrate that 2D digital link barcode with the RFID tag, it's going to be it's the full solution for, like I said before, for transparency and for consumer engagement.
Nice.
I love it. Maximum visibility.
Yes.
I like that. There's no reason you should be able to see anything at this point.
That's right. Maximum visibility. Yes.
It's like eating 1,000,000 carrots.
That's right.
All right. Well, that was good stuff. Hopefully everyone recognizes that there is opportunity out here if you're not already invested in it, or more importantly, that this opportunity is just going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
Please don't hesitate to reach out to us here at BlueStar. We'll be happy to hook you up with all of our friends at Zebra and AIM and GS1 to help guide you and help you craft the perfect solutions for your customers.
For sure.
All right, let's wrap up as always with the fun part of the show. What's on our radar?
Yes.
Let's talk about something in the world of tech, innovation, science, business, the news, whatever that we feel like chatting about today. Teresa, kick us off here. What's on your radar right now?
So I'm gonna stay on topic with RFID. There is something that I implemented to save myself time in my home, and I bought a bunch of NFC tags.
Okay. What?
And I programmed my phone to automate things like text my son to make his bed. So I put the NFC tag on his bed. So all I have to do is tap my phone and it texts him, make your bed.
Get out of town. Are you serious right now?
That's awesome.
This is awesome.
Streamlining the mom job. You know what I mean?
I love it.
That's next level.
That is way next level, dude. That is way. She's probably already making standards along the way.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Teresa, if you have other hacks with this stuff, send them over to us. Yeah, you should. I very much think you should.
That's awesome.
The technology, how to use technology to be a better parent, or
yes,
or at least one staying on top of things. I like it. I appreciate that. Awesome. Mariya, what about you? What's on your radar?
Well, I'm going to shift it away from technology. Not sure if you guys are football fans, but what's up with Jamar Chase?
Oh, I know.
Video shows it. He's denying it. Coach is backing him.
Nah, just terrible.
Yeah,
it's been that year, Mary Lou.
It's just a lost season for the Bengals.
It's just terrible. As if our record isn't bad enough. Now we have, players that are just... Yeah, not acting up to standard, shall we say.
I understand a frustrated player and frustrated with the situation, some of which, we can't do anything about. You can't help when your star quarterback gets hurt.
Right.
But how you act on the field is entirely your choice.
Absolutely.
I tell my 8-year-old son this all the time. Like, you aren't in charge of what other people do, but you are in charge of your own attitudes and reactions and how you act. And sometimes I feel like professional sports players need to be told that from time to time as well.
Yeah. You got any advice there, Mary Lou?
I know it's all about like you were saying, John, with how we're trying to bring up our own kids. It's like it's self-control. You're setting more of an example. You're about a team. You're not an individual.
Yep.
And as I mentioned, I'm not saying that I agree with Jalen Ramsey for punching him, because he needs to practice some self-control.
Right. Yeah. Bad situation.
So it's good advice.
Oh, well.
That's good advice everywhere. There's good advice for the workplace as well.
For sure.
Like you're in control of your own stuff. Just be a little bit of a grown up sometimes.
Yeah.
Patti, what about you? What's on your radar?
Hey, you know what? We're deep into the holiday season, and I am shopping and getting ready for gifts for the family. And I am really glad to be shopping at retailers that use RFID, because I know that I can count on their inventory.
Yes.
That's a great point. That is a great point. So do you think this is the time then? Should everyone be going? I know this is a bad time to be trying to talk to retailers and sell them anything, but should we at least be going and talking to them, having conversations, be like, hey, I want you to think this year as you're going through the rush of the holidays, how much easier some of this would be if you had full visibility of all of your inventory.
Yeah.
Because I would think that, that has to be a great thing right now to really pay attention to and make them think about. I know back in my day when I was in retail, I used to work in a bookstore a long time back. It was about 20 years ago. And I would have killed for just any slightly better inventory visibility than what I had. Because someone picks up a book and sticks it somewhere else in the store. Well, as far as you know, that book is lost until you happen to stumble across it at some point.
Yeah, later that night when you're cleaning up.
Yeah, you don't know if it's been stolen. You don't know if it's been dropped behind the shelves. You have no idea. It's that kind of stuff that I would think as a retailer is an easy conversation to have about hey, how did inventory go during the holiday rush? Okay, let's talk about that some more. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. It's a great time to be having that discussion.
There you go. How about next year you not have these headaches? We're going to help you.
Right.
Good stuff. All right, Dean, what's on your radar?
Well, I'm going to go down the generative AI path again. It seems to be a topic of consideration around here. But here's what grabbed mine. Here's the headline. AI song "Walk My Walk" tops the Billboard country chart. Okay, so and I was like, what is this? Where this is really going? So let me see if this plays a little bit here. Oh no, hold on. Let me see if I can get it going.
Oh, we're gonna hear a snip.
Too long, you can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slow.
Okay, so there's the song, right? It's okay, whatever. It's great. So here's my comment though. When you go in, because they're promoting this on social and stuff like that, I go into the Instagram feed and I'm scrolling through what people are saying. So I think that, I don't know, I think the AI bots are commenting on the AI song now because it's stuff like, dude, this is so awesome. When are you coming to my city? Oh, I can't wait until you go on tour. And it's like, well, no, this is a computer that has generated this. But these are genuine comments that are in the feed.
Do you think the comments are also AI generated?
That's what I'm saying. I think the AI is like commenting on it and saying, so now we're creating this loop where AI is creating content, AI is commenting on
AI's
content,
just talking to itself
and the
all day.
humans, the humans that are commenting, you can tell who the humans are because they're like, this dude never takes a breath. Voice sounds crunchy. I mean, the comments are you can't fool humans. We can sense the fake stuff out there, and then but all the Gen AI bots out there, they're just making these comments that are just completely outrageous as it compares to this particular song. So anyway, I think there's comfort out there, right? You and I often comment like Gen AI is going to take over the world. It's going to take over us in marketing. I don't think so. I don't think so. You can tell this song is like, if you really listen to it, it sounds like generative
It's just like
AI.
how back in the day when
But it is number one on the country charts. So it's like, exactly.
I mean, I guess it's because of the novelty, maybe, I suppose. Is
Yes.
That.
Yes.
Now, I remember back in the day when, computer graphics started kind of taking off and, getting to a little bit of a higher level of accelerated.
Sure.
But you started hearing people talk about the uncanny valley, the attempt to make, digital effects look real and just that feeling of being off. They call that the uncanny valley.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not quite
there.
Not quite there. That is how I feel sometimes when I listen to some of this. It's still what you see when you watch an AI video. You can just tell something's a little off. I granted it's getting better every day, but something just doesn't feel right. It
doesn't.
So you just know it's off.
Yeah. Awesome voice though. When are you touring? I want to see you in concert.
Someone is somehow going to create there's some promoter out there that's trying to figure out how to create an all AI tour.
Yes, right.
That is going to happen.
That's
at some
fair.
point.
I don't know. So anyway, what's on your radar?
You know what? Since we were talking a couple times about kids and growing up right, and also
eating carrots and all
also
that good
talking
stuff.
about tracking.
Yes.
So I've mentioned this to you a few times, maybe mentioned it on the pod, that my son just learned how to be an outdoor kid this summer.
Yes.
Went from being the kid that liked to just stay in all the time and watch TV and play video games. And
now he's getting dirty outside.
Now he started finding out that he has lots of friends that live right nearby in the neighborhood.
Nice.
So he's out and about playing a lot, and he's hanging out at friends' houses. But of course, that raised the issue of, all right, well, now we got to make sure we know where our kid is and stay in touch with them.
Yes.
And of course, some people are already giving their kids at that age phones and tablets and everything.
Or the watch.
Yeah. Well, that's what we ended up
Wearable.
going with, was the wearable watch.
Oh, okay.
But we went specifically with one designed for kids in mind. It's a company called Gab. There's a lot of different products like this out there. The one we chose was called Gab, and it's basically it's a very simplistic smartwatch. It is just there's a cheap cellular plan that gets connected to it. He really can't do anything else other than text and call. And of course, we can track where he's at if we need to, but it has been a very handy and useful way to stay in touch and just know what's going on, or him being able to reach out and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm going over to so-and-so's house. And is it okay if I play in their house if they let me today? I'm like, just a nice way, or being able to call them back, say, hey, it's time for dinner. I know some people look at that and they're like, well, back when we were kids, we just roamed the neighborhoods and our parents had no idea where we were. And
that's where I'm going. I'm kind of glad.
Start phoning the parents around the neighborhood asking for you. I'm kind of glad
I didn't have this technology when I was growing up, because, dude, we were hopping trains and we were miles away. But our parents were like, well, just come home when it starts getting dark.
I know.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
The street lights come on. It's time to come home. Yeah.
So I got a question, Teresa. Do are you linking up your tap and text to devices like this? Does your son have one of these watches where it's like texting him there? Yep.
Yes.
There it is.
I know where he is.
Fair enough.
I just, it's one of those
things. He has an electric scooter gang.
Oh, yes.
The electric scooter gang. He's 13, and they go to the gas station and just buy an incredible amount of candy. So I get notifications of how much he spent at the convenience store.
Nice.
And where he is.
Yes, I love it.
There you go. Yep. Sorry, kids. This is the world we're in now. Yeah. We know what you're doing at all times. We can track what you're doing at all times. You're just gonna. I'm curious. What is that going to do for these kids as they get older and as they grow up? Like, how like kids, like we always like to say, like, I'm going to do things differently from the way my parents did. Are we going to come back around?
Than my parents.
I know. Are we going to loop back around where all the kids that we're tracking today, when they grow up and have kids, are going to be like, you know what? I don't want to know where you are at all. Go out into the world and do whatever you want, and come back and let me know what you need. We'll see.
Could be.
All right. That is what's on our radar today. Hey, fantastic show. We appreciate you all. Patti Blessing, Mary Lou Bosco, Teresa Williams. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. Loved having you today. So until next time, we'll see you out there in the nation. And hey, folks, watch out for that elephant in the room. And if you do see it out there, just slap an RFID tag on it and
move on.
Find out where it's going.
Yeah.
We'll see you out there, folks. Thanks very much.